Yeah, I really feel for the guys tonight. That's a tough game to tie. Feels like a loss. But it's also especially tough because I thought there were a lot of positives. I loved our response after going down. I thought that generally, in terms of just pushing a game, everybody engaged in a good way. There were so many things to take away. A lot of really good performances. Awesome to see Brian get 2 goals and be so dangerous. I thought Sifu goes up another level tonight. So overall, I see positives, but you can't call it a step forward where at the end of a game like that, you don't win.
Thanks, Bob. We're going to start here with Scott French. Scott, go ahead.
Hey, Bob. Yeah, there's just so much to unpack from this game. I thought this was one of the really great games in this series, but I know it doesn't feel that way in your locker room. Where do you go from here? What is the next step?
No, the next step is building on what we do every day. And so I told everybody that look, this isn't the step we wanted, but there's positives. And I make sure they understand what those little things are and that they realize that when they're all that committed in a game, when they're helping each other, when physically they're pushing their limits. I didn't think when we got around the box in the first half, I didn't think we were sharp. I thought there were too many times we got up near the box and passes. We played some little chipped balls into the box at bad times when we should have made another pass. The timing of some plays, and then our shooting in the first half was terrible. But I thought we sharpened a lot of those things up in the second half. And still, for me, overall, I saw a lot of guys really give everything, and I saw a team that's under pressure, we know that, respond incredibly well at 1-0, and then when it got to 2-2, another push to get to 3-2. Great to get 3 goals. The next step there is when you get them to 3-2, can you get the fourth and nail it down? So.
The head coach of the Galaxy.
Hold on. Greg's on the. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Maybe we don't see each other, but we're both doing a press conference on the same line at the same time. They just said, here's Greg Vanny live. So just letting you know. Maybe nobody hears it now. So, all right, let's keep trying.
Right. Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Andy Diosa.
Bob, you talked about during the midweek availability about Carlos and just moments that that he's been able to have at the stadium. It felt like that Brian goal could be one of just those moments for him too, just the way it unfolded and the moment that it was. Can you talk a little bit about the goal and just the atmosphere today and how everything unpacked this crazy game as it usually is?
Yeah, let me just talk about Brian that I mentioned a few times lately, how he's really open now to understanding little things that we think help him improve. His mentality has been good. His attitude has been good. There's some little technical things that we challenge him to do better. On him all the time to see situations and make better decisions on the ball. And tonight was like, I'm so happy for him. The first goal he scored is just showing skill in the box, and then an incredible finish, and then he gets another one after that. So for me, I'm hoping that it's a big, important moment for him, getting to the next step and being the player that we all know he can be.
Bob, what could you say about just this rivalry in general that allows it to be so, I guess, frantic? I don't know what even the right word is to describe it, but just that allows it to be as entertaining as it's been from the beginning.
I mean, look, I think it starts always on our end where we go into these games where we're going to try to take our football and make sure that that's out there, that we're trying to win balls, go forward quickly, create chances, and then, of course, find good ways to make it hard on them and defend. In a lot of the games, the two teams get after each other, push the limits. The fans are into it, and then you see a really good match. So this certainly is another one. In so many of these matches, Look, we've had too many tough moments. I mean, man, I'm not going back through them all, but moments where we played well and just managed to let something go. You know, there was certainly the very first one in history, the Zlatan special. There was the night where, you know, we had the back pass late in the game and they scored. So still it's on us sometimes, because I think in many of these games, in terms of pushing things, creating chances, I think we've been pretty good. Physically, you know, we have had games against them where we haven't competed on completely even terms physically. That you know, they had a really hard edge and it threw us off. I thought on that end tonight we did really well. And you know, when I say physically and pushing things, it's not just then going in on 50-50 balls. It's making sure your attackers are ready to try to go by defenders and really threaten them. I thought Brian and Diego did a really good job of that tonight. You know, a young defender like Julian Araujo, he's a good player. He's a good defender. But I thought we had times where we really tried to go by him and tested him. And then you get a good game where, okay, sometimes he wins the battle, sometimes we win the battle. Obviously, he's also a fullback, goes forward. So that involves us being able to defend him on the other end. But when you get those type of situations all over the field, then I think that's where you get a good game.
Thanks, Bob.
Thanks, Gio.
Hey, Bob. I know you mentioned you can't call this a step forward. I know it was an amazing game, 6 goals. I know Trafico, obviously these games never disappoint. I'm just curious. I want to know, like, I know you subbed in Chicho in the 81st minute for Sebas, and then right after that, Greg Vanny adjusted. He went with the back 3 and 5 in the midfield. Were you surprised how quickly he was able to adjust to that?
No, we expected them to go to that late in the game anyway. And we still had the opportunity because Seafood plays high at times, so that we still have opportunities there. So we understood that at times late in the game, that's what they like to do. They like to cross the ball. You know, they had guys in the half spaces so that we felt that we could deal with them with our midfield and still be able to get out to Nico and to Araujo easier. Look, I think we had people in good position. We just didn't make a play. So the rest, I think we understood was coming.
And how difficult is it? You guys probably had the best performance. I know you guys didn't get the win, but now you're going to lose Brian, who had a spectacular game, and Sifu and the rest of the international players moving forward.
Yeah, for Kansas City, we were missing guys. We knew all along that this international break, we had a game where guys would be missing. Look, I've said it many times. I think we've had a lot of games where we still, you know, anybody who's watched us from the start sees football that says that's LAFC. And yet, as we've done that, we haven't taken advantage of the chances we create. Even tonight, we had a lot of chances. You know, 3 goals is a step up, but man, there's more there. And then there's moments where we need, against teams, to be able to make a play, a timely play defensively, whether that's a reaction, whether that's taking care of transition earlier, whether that's a save. So I think that overall there's been moments where you've seen a very good LAFC team that doesn't quite get what it should, because in key situations we've not been as good as we have in the past, and we have to keep just making sure that that part gets to our level.
Thanks, Alex. Go ahead.
In Spain. Hi, Bob. I have 2 questions. The first one is about Chiqui. How do you see him today in this game? And the second one is about, he's going to stay with the club or he's going to travel to Ecuador soon? Thank you.
I was very proud of Chiqui tonight. You know, he had a play in the first half where his knee was bothering him, but he came off. He told the physios that he felt he could at least get to halftime. At halftime, he said, no, I want to keep going. And he pushed himself. I thought he had a strong second half, and then eventually he just said, no, I need to come off. We'll look at him and assess the knee, and then that'll be a discussion with Ecuador, so I don't know.